So this is going to be how to draw a more complex wheel shape, and then you can use this to add onto your cars. So we're going to start by drawing this in lines, then we're going to make some surfaces out of that and then extrude those surfaces into a solid. So I'm going to start with a circle to give me my basic size. So I'm going to draw it in the right hand view because it's the side of the wheel that I'm going to be drawing. And I'm going to draw my wheel at 100 millimeters big. So 100 millimeters diameter or 50 millimeters radius. Oops, that didn't work. Try that again. Okay, so there is the side of my wheel. And what I want to do is I want to create some spokes in this, and I also want to create a tie around the outside. So one of the tools that I'm going to use in this is called offset. So offset is moving a curve or a surface away from another curve or surface. So offset is in here, I think. Offset curve, okay, or you can just start writing offset, it will come up. Click the curve that you want to offset and then tell it how far you want to offset it. So I'm going to go for 5. So you can see now when I move my mouse I can either offset the curve inside or I can offset the curve outside. So I'm going to offset a curve inside to start with. So this is going to be the edge of my wheel. I'm then going to offset another curve out from here, which is going to be my tire. So I can either write offset again or I can just hit spacebar to repeat the last command. So spacebar, click here, and then I'm going to make my tire a little bit bigger. What does 10 look like? Nope. Okay, so in between there and there is going to be my tire. In between there and there is going to be the outside of my rim. I also need a center of my rim. So I click here. I come down here, and if I move my mouse near the edge of the circle, it bounces to the center. So I click, and then I'm going to reckon that the inside of my wheel should be, say, that big. Then I need to draw some spokes in here to create a joining bit between the inside of my rim and the outside of my rim, which is between here and here. So we can either draw a straight shape from the center of this up, okay, and I can either have straight edges of my rim, which I'll show you first. So once we have drawn one line, we come over here and we find this tool here, which is an array tool. So if you click and hold, there is either rectangular array or polar array. So what we're doing is a polar array, which is spreading objects around a pole, so like the North or the South Pole. The pole in this case is the center of your rim. So you click this, and it asks you for the center. Well, sorry, I should deselect everything first. If I click this, it asks you to the object that you want to array. So this is the object that you want to array. Press enter, and then it asks you for the center of the array, which is here. Then it asks you for the number of items. So we want a lot of items, so I'm going to put 20 in. And then I want it to go 360 degrees all the way around here. So just press enter because it defaults to 360. Okay, so then I have all of these lines. What I would then need to do is go ahead and delete the ones that I don't want. So this is one of my pieces. I'm going to delete every second one. All the way around my circle. Okay, so then I would be able to create a wheel using this shape. So I'm going to try and make it curvy, make it a little bit more interesting. So instead of doing straight edges, what I'm going to do is get rid of all of this. And I'm going to draw one curved line using this tool here. So I'm going to start in the center, click out here, and then click. I'm going to hold down Alt because I don't want it to bounce on things. So I'm going to give it a bit of a shape like that. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's a bit long, we'll fix that later. Then I'm going to get this and I'm going to array it. And I'm going to do 20. Wow, that's pretty intense. So we actually only need to draw one part of this rim, and then we can, oh no, we're going to do it, we'll do it the long way. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. Okay, so this is going to be solid, this is not going to be there, this is going to be solid, not there, solid, not there, solid, not there, solid, not there, solid. Right, so then we need to create, so we want the surface to come out from here, round here, and then back into here. So what we need to do is we need to split this guy. Okay, so split is not there. Split is in, must be in here. My gosh, I can't remember where it is. We're just going to write split. Okay, split, and we want to split this. And we want to split it with all of these shapes in here. So press enter when you're done, then we're going to select all of these. Okay, then I don't want that piece, that piece, that piece, that piece, or that piece. Okay, so my rim is going to come up through here, round here, back in here. Then I have to get all of these, and I have to split these as well. Split, and I want to split it with all of these shapes. Okay, so now I have a bunch of shapes, and I need to delete all these ones. Okay, my wheel's starting to take shape. So the rim comes in here, and then it needs to go across here and back out here. So the same as what I did with the outside here, I need to split the shape with all of these. And I need to get rid of this, 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 and this. Okay, we're nearly there. Then I need to split these shapes. It's probably actually easier if I make this a bit bigger for you, isn't it? So I get all of these shapes, and I cut with these shapes. And all of this stuff in the middle I delete. And so now I have this rim in here. Okay, so that was an awful lot of splitting that we needed to do. But now that I've got this all made, I can now make my planar surface, which is what we did in the last video. So I just have to be careful which curves I select from this. So I want to select everything apart from this shape out here. So I'm going to drag a box carefully so that I don't get that outside circle. Press enter. If I minimize this. Turn shaded on, so you can see that I have a rim drawn in here. So I'm going to push this out sideways to make it thick. So I'm going to extrude this. Now I'm not going to extrude it very far because I don't want my rim to be too thick. So I now have the rim here. Then I need to draw the tire. So the tire, I need to draw a planar surface for the tire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this shape off for a little bit so that we can see what we're doing a little bit easier. So I moved it to another layer and I turn the layer off. I don't need this planar surface anymore, so I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to make a planar surface between these two shapes. So I'm just going to write planar surface. Okay, then I have the edge of my tire. So I'm just going to turn this back on to see how far I want to push it. Extrude surface. So obviously I want my tire to go a little bit further than my rim. About that far. And I'll put this on a different layer so you can see it. Okay, turn that off for a second. Delete this, don't need that. Turn my red one back on. Okay, and then I have a nice tire and a rim. Obviously, if I was going for full realism, I would need to draw the rim coming inside this side of the tire, but I don't think for what you guys are doing you need to do that at the moment. Okay, so one last thing that you could do if you wanted to do, normally a shape doesn't exist with a hard corner like this on the edge. So what you can do is you can what's called fillet the edge of an object. So in the solid editing tools, you can go to fillet edge, or you can just write fillet. Now there are a few different kinds of fillet, so this is fillet edge. You need to decide the radius, so I'll show you a reasonably large radius to start with. Then you click the edge, press enter again, and it smooths the edge of the tire. Okay, that actually looks about the right size. And then I can do spacebar to do it again, and I can click the other side, and now I have a tire that's rounded at the edges. You can also do that with the parts of your rim. So say I wanted to do this edge here. Now this may not work because 5 is quite big to get around this corner. So that's what it looks like when it doesn't work. That fillet was too big for it to work it out. So I'll change the fillet size, see if I can get it to work, down to 1, which is quite a small fillet. Click the edges. Press enter. Okay, so it's smoothed those. Might be able to make that a little bit bigger. So change it to 2. Okay, so then I have smoothed the edge of that. I could then go around and do all the rest of them, and then I would end up with a nice smoothed wheel and tire. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone. See ya.